The first time I saw this boat was at a convention in Florida about 6 months earlier. Now I've been given the opportunity to play with one before it's even released to the public. This kayak is pretty unique because it comes in a box. As it's an inflatable, I gotta be kind of careful when I open the box with a razor knife. The kayak comes in a bag, which makes it portable, if just barely. But you can manage to strap it to your back and tote it around, a lot easier than a normal kayak. One other thing you get in the box is a seat for this kayak. Pretty much everything you need, except for a paddle, that is. Smells like a new car. Paddle, rod holders, stuff like that are sold separately. Well, the seat is very much like the seat that you might see on a, what is it, the Catch Mode. They have a fold-down seat, and you can sit on the back of the seat if you want to reach back to do stuff behind in the tank well, or put the transom adapter on it and use a trolling motor, or you can sit low, which is usually easier for paddling. So I already know the seat, and I'm gonna like that. Let's see what else is in the bag when you buy one. First off, I want to say this is an enormous bag, and it's very nice and tidy for storing, but if you had to carry this somewhere, it's pretty heavy, so something to keep in mind. Foot pedals, skeg. There's a rather sizable foot pump. I guess if you took this out, say you live in an apartment, and you take it out to where you park your car, and you pump it up and then put it on top of the car, then you can take the pump and put it back and put the bag back and everything, and just bring the kayak to the water's edge. Go fishing, you know, and it would be real easy. You wouldn't be pumping it up the whole time at the boat ramp. So you could do all that beforehand, and then you wouldn't need most of the stuff with you when you go out to the water. Instructions. What else have we got? This is an electric pump, if I had to guess. Yep. D-cell batteries, it looks like it takes it. Yeah. Yep, 4 D-cells. That's got to be a little bit easier than relying on the hand pump. But with these attachments, I have a little DeWalt leaf blower that I can use to fill this up. A repair kit. Let's see, what's in the repair kit? We have some sort of wrench, and there's some pieces of fabric in here. That's nice of them. Well, let's try to get this out. Yep, that's it. This is a quality piece of luggage you got here. I can see rolling this through the airport. A little too big for a carry-on though. As is the case with most things, I would imagine this is going to get easier and easier every single time you have to inflate it. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to take this thing, blow it up. I'll be right back. I guess this is the part where you're supposed to be using the electric pump that comes with the boat, but I didn't have any D-cell batteries, so my little rechargeable DeWalt blower was my go-to device for getting this process started. Even if I had a compressor on hand, I don't think I would use that, for fear of blowing it up too quick and maybe damaging it. That is a tight fit, and it's supposed to be on purpose. So don't lament the fact that it's real tight on your boat. And understand, this is the reason why we do this before it's inflated. Alright, now we're going to put the side rails in that you rest your feet on, and we'll be able to blow this up the rest of the way. Definitely a tricky process, especially at first, the first time you do it. Another reason why you should probably do this before you get to the boat ramp, so you're not distracted by the water while you're trying to do this. Can you imagine how difficult that would be? I got the feeling later on that it would have been easier to install these foot pegs after the boat was completely inflated. the way. Almost there. The last thing you want to do before you completely inflate this is, if you're going to add like a Scotty mount here or something, the attachment points move a little bit when it's flexible. So you're going to want to attach those first. And I do have a couple, so I'm going to put them on there right now. I'm pretty sure I'm going to leave these accessory mounts attached and wouldn't have to do this every single time I wanted to use the boat. Kind of reminds me of IKEA furniture, where you don't want to tighten everything until you have all the nuts and bolts in place. The same premise here, I guess, is true, because everything is going to be tight, quote unquote, as soon as this boat is completely inflated. And in order to attach these, you need quarter 20 bolts, and I have only 4 of them, so I can attach only one of these Scotty mounts for right now. There are 4 different places, or there are 4 places total where you can add something like this. So I'm going to get over to the hardware store soon and add those, because I could see that being very useful. But that'll be later. For now, I am ready to completely inflate this thing. Well, because this is a drop stitch boat, it takes a lot of air. 14 pounds is what they recommend for you to fill this. Although it says inflate to 10 to 12 pounds max here. In the instructions it says 14. Either way, that's a tremendous amount of air. So I'm going to use this, or you could use the electric pump that comes with the boat to fill it most of the way. But I'm going to use the foot pump to get the last little bit of air in there, because it has a valve on it, and I'll be able to tell that I'm not exceeding the amount of pounds per square inch that you're supposed to put in there. This process might be tedious, but it's the best way to really dial in the exact amount of air that you need without damaging the boat by accident. But be prepared, because it certainly is a lot of exercise getting this thing done. Alright, that's almost 12. Ooh, crap. I'm finished inflating the bottom. Part of what makes this boat so rigid is that it has 2 chambers, one on the bottom and one on the sides around the perimeter of the boat. It's also a nice redundancy, so that you know that if you're on the water and one should fail, you're not just going to sink. That is quite the workout. It's another thing to be prepared for. One little tip to help store your pump pieces when they're not being used, I suggest getting yourself a whole bunch of these reusable zip ties. It has a little lever on there so that you can undo it, but it's really convenient for tidying everything up here. This way you don't lose your stuff until the next time you have to use it. This is that lovely seat that I showed earlier. There are little clips here and here, and to install the seat, you just snap it in place. That's it. The back of the seat has legs that go down on these pads here. Nice. This whole thing feels rough and sturdy, just like the back of an alligator or something. Neat. Okay, so we got a skeg that's going to go right there. That should be really easy to put in. Yep, slides back like that. And the clip goes in there. that. Yep. Pink. Gotta hope a tree limb or something doesn't snag that while we're out there. Huh. It's an interesting little tidbit. Yep. I guess because it's an inflatable, we have to be careful when we're out there. But as far as inflatables go, I can't imagine them being any tougher than this. Plenty of places to store stuff. It's got a little quarter 20 up there. You could put a camera mount or something. That'd be kind of neat. And of course, there's the rail here, which you can use to attach accessories like this. Here is a bait tray that you can put up here, and you'll be able to lay all kinds of things down on there, including rod holders. Also, you can get a mount like this from Scotty, and that'll allow you to put an accessory here on the side or on the top, multiple accessories, just whatever your imagination can come up with. You have lots of aftermarket choices for things that will attach to a 1-inch rail, but I've always been partial to Scotty for camera mounts, rod holders, all kinds of accessories that work great on kayaks. Cup holder, and the rod holder. It's sticking up kind of high, so I might relocate that eventually to over there. I don't know, I got a lot of time to play with where I'm going to put the accessories. For now, I think I want to get this thing out on the water. This boat only weighs about 44 pounds without the seat in it, which makes portability even easier. Now, how much it weighs after you put all your junk in it, well, that's up to how excessive you are with the amount of gear you bring. You can imagine after all these years I still get excited about rigging up boats. It never gets old. One of the most difficult parts about getting this boat into the water was the skeg on the back. It was very light. Getting it to the water was not a problem, but I really had to be aware of not stepping onto the boat while the skeg was supporting the weight. So I just twisted it, and I was able to push the aft end of the kayak out into the water before I got in. With that behind me, all that was left was to take it out and see how this thing paddled. At first, it felt like I was sitting in a regular kayak. I adjusted my seat, my foot pegs, searched around, tried to figure out where I was going to put all my stuff, like my rod. My initial reaction was that this is actually pretty darn comfortable. Very soft, which made it quiet. I thought this was going to be actually a really fun kayak, an ergonomic kayak, to use to go out and hunt some fish. I think my biggest problem was only having a few places to put my gear, for now, until I get those extra quarter 20 bolts and add some more Scotty mounts. There you go. That's better. First of all, it feels weird having boots on. But it was like 50 degrees this morning. It was a little chilly. I know, 50 degrees, big deal, right? That is definitely a lot better. Yep, this is a piece of cake. I think I can, yeah, I can move around, like walk around in circles. You know, that's a sign of good stability, that you can actually lift a foot without immediately falling in. And I've had a couple of boats that were like that. This is real stable. Kind of nice. It feels very firm underfoot as well. It gives a little bit like where my heel is, but it just makes it feel soft, which is pleasant. I could see being on this thing all day long and not having a lot of fatigue. So that's kind of neat. This spot where I'm at is it's okay for fishing, I guess. But it's definitely alligator country, so I've seen a couple big ones lately. I'm a little bit nervous, but I wanted to try this boat, which, wait a second, I'm on an inflatable boat and there's alligators around. Okay, use your brain there, Marty. In reality, it probably didn't make that much of a difference whether I was in a hard kayak or an inflatable kayak. Not to the alligators, they didn't care. However, I thought this was a perfect time to do a maneuverability test and see how fast this thing would paddle. Well, I noticed it doesn't take a lot of effort to turn. Nice, makes it very well maneuverable. And you see when I stop, there's a current moving me right now and wind. But I'm not spinning like I'm on a top. So the skegs up front and behind, that's nice. So you got good tracking, good maneuverability. It's rare that you get a combination like that. And, you know, it feels very sturdy. It doesn't feel like it's bending in the middle when I put all my weight in the middle, you know? It's that drop stitch technology that makes it very, very rigid. I knew that kind of going in, that it was going to be very stiff. But it's nice to actually sit on it and feel it and know that not only is it a stiff ride, but it also is soft underfoot. It seems very quiet, you know, when you put stuff down, you know. That's not like putting a paddle down on hard plastic. Even when it rolls, it's like silent. I like it. I like it. So over time, I'm gonna figure out durability, and I'm gonna test the heck out of this thing. I'm gonna take it out to some places you probably shouldn't take it out to. This way, you guys know whether or not this boat is worth, you know, the money. I think it's one of the very first that is inflatable and a real kayak. You know, something that you can fish from and not worry about putting a hook in it or something. So, yeah, it's the first inflatable kayak that's been executed really, really well. That whole time I didn't spin while I was just cracking off at the mouth. You can see I put a ball mount with a gear track on there. That's what my camera just clicks into. I can twist it and pull my camera out. I have a camera up there just for kind of display purposes. My old secondary GoPro is starting to not be so good. But yeah, I did bring a fishing pole. You see that? And I made a mistake of not bringing a pair of pliers once. So anytime I go out possibly fishing, I always have something with me at least. And this is about as minimalistic as you can get. Again, I have some zip ties, these reusable zip ties here. And I'm just going to take this pouch here. This is a wilderness gear pouch or something. I don't know, not sure what they call it. But it really does come in handy in this situation, that's for sure. Alright, let's see what we got. I forgot I could sit on top of this seat. There we go. How about that? Now I got a place for my stuff in case I need some extra soft plastics or some more leader or something. And I can place it there, and it won't get lost. I like it. There's actually a lot of opportunities for strapping gear down on this. You can bring a crate in the back. There's plenty of room. May have to get me one of those Wildy crates, just to go with the motif, I suppose. It's tie-down points back there, points up front with the bungee. I'll probably add some bungee back here. Like I said, I'm going to add things to this over the coming months and try to play with it as much as I can. This is a fairly long paddle, but it feels like it could be just a little bit longer because from the high position that I'm in right now, it's tough to get the entire paddle in the water. So I think if I was going any long distance, I would put the seat back in the regular position and sit lower, and I think it would paddle better. Yeah. But for standing and fishing and stuff, once you get to the spot, this is probably the right position to be in. Let's see how fast I can make this thing go. Funny, I get a little gurgling sound from up front, but other than that, I mean, this thing paddles really nice. It's straight, it's not too hard to move it, and it moves pretty good. My initial thought was that it wasn't going to paddle very nice. Sometimes I like being wrong. So that's my unboxing and first reaction, I guess, from the iATAK. The iATAK. I have to figure out what the ATAK means. It's like, I think it's written on the side of the boat. Where is it? Something tactical kayak. There it is. Advanced Tactical Angling Kayak. iATAK. I'm not going to press my luck and lean over the side. Not with all these big gators around. But alright, stay tuned. Thank you guys for coming along as always. And supporting my channel. I really appreciate you guys, man. It's been a long time, a lot of years. And I never feel alone when I'm out here because I always feel like you guys are with me. I will catch you later. Bye. Well, keep an eye out, folks, on this channel for more about this, what I think is the best inflatable kayak there is on the market. Next, I'll be rigging up more equipment to this boat and hopefully catching some fish from it. And if you're interested, check out the Wilderness link in the description. This boat will be available to buy this March of 2024. Thanks for watching.